What's going on, nerds, nerdettes? King Nerd Darth here. In Queensblade Limit Break, we are going to be covering, technically it's part 2 of the series that I started regarding the new game mode, Divine Legacies. We had to separate it because it's actually quite a bit to go over. This video I've recorded twice. It always comes out to be 20 minutes, so we're just going to go through it fast, get down to it, and then I'm going to cover some positives and negatives. There are some bad things recently that I learned that are really bad from a company standpoint. But anyway, so technically this is part 2 covering the gearing option that technically, and I use that term loosely, goes with the Divine Legacies game mode that you should be participating in every day. And it's a new gearing option, so called Sacred Treasures. Now we're going to talk about what they are, what they do for you, how to level them up, and therein lies some of the issues. So let's just go into the Warrior tab here, and on your gear screen, you actually can see right underneath the cores, you got a new gearing slot here, where Sacred Treasures are actually equipped. Really cool, right? Well, yes and no. So there are some restrictions. There are actually quite a few restrictions on this game mode that you might see. Let's go down and find a Lesser Warrior here. I'm still in the process of leveling up my warriors from 11 to 12 and so forth. Here's a 9-star warrior that I'm not done yet. On the gear screen, you'll see that it's blanked out, 10 stars. So just like Blossoms, you actually have to have your warriors that you're using actually reach 10 star before you can equip a Sacred Treasure. Now, it's not necessarily a problem all out, and we'll see how some restrictions limit how many warriors can be applied, although there is a really cool feature in terms of being able to equip a Sacred Treasure to multiple warriors. It's just very, very difficult to do. So, 10-star, beautiful warrior before you can even equip it. And let's not forget that your adventurer level has to be 81 to even participate in the Divine Legacies event, which is a free event, unless you buy the 500 gem 5 extra attempts. Also, the server cannot be less than 30 days old. So new servers and people who are adventurer level 81, you will not have access to it. Although there has been opportunities for you to buy during the last event Sacred Treasure shards, thus giving you access to them. You just won't be able to equip them. So, just to recap, Divine Legacies every day under Quest, you should be coming in under Explore and doing your Divine Legacies, okay? Every 10 stages, you get 50 shards, all the way up to 100 that you fuse. Fusing should be familiar, cores, beasts, fusing warrior shards, all of that should be familiar. It's the same thing. You start off with 50, unlock. 50 more, rank up, things like that. So the Sacred Treasure UI is actually right here. And there is another way to get to it, but technically this is the way that you go about doing that. So Sacred Treasures, got all 5 of them unlocked. Sacred Treasures are equipables that do a number of things for you. Some are really cool. One of them is providing you with a new cross-attribute damage skill, or a attribute increased damage skill. It just depends on how you look at that and which warrior you equip them on. So, all of mine are at least 4 stars, and that's that way for a reason, which is a big negative we're going to talk about at the end when it comes to ranking up. Although I do have one 5-star, so we're going to use this one to kind of take a look. And I did end up having to purchase 50 shards in order to get that, because I needed to see before I made this video how the 4 to 5-star transition happens, and there were some premium currency materials that I've been collecting through these stages that I needed to test out. So, here's the UI. You have 3 tabs. It's not generally called quality. It's actually called rank up. But because I'm getting ready to rank up again, it changes from rank to quality. So just know that that is there. Here's the general UI. Once you start collecting these, you're actually going to add bonus stats. Pretty familiar here. Attack and HP. The good news is that they're embracing the all-warrior attack and HP, unlike cores and beasts who only apply the stats to the warriors they're equipped with. Keep in mind my philosophy on character bloat in this game. It's great that they're embracing this all-attack. Now keep in mind, there's only 5 attributes, so the Sacred Treasures have to be a little more accessible to a certain degree unless they start implementing new ones down the line, and I just can't see them doing that ever or even in the near future. But they're leaning into the new damage type that was introduced with the ultra rare warriors as well, and that is the physical attribute damage, dual, mind, so forth. That every time you level it up, you get a slight increase to all warriors' attribute damage and their damage resistances. Keep in mind, every time you get a ultra rare warrior and you rank them up and you continue to rank them up, you're actually continuously adding additional attribute damage bonus and damage reduction. But here's another source. So if you inspect somebody and you see that theirs is higher than yours, this is probably where it's coming up from. And then as you get higher and higher in your tuning phase, you get bonus attack and HP as well. But that's not where the real bread and butter here comes from. That's just gravy, okay? The real gravy, I guess, mashed potatoes, I lost my analogy here, is the new Sacred Treasure skill that these actually provide your warriors once equipped. Here is the Sacred Treasure for dual break. When a beautiful warrior equipped triggers a follow-up attack, deals 25% of attack as break attribute damage to the target. Now I'm going to read the second part, but because mine is now rank 5, it actually has an additional ability that yours probably doesn't read. Each time a follow-up attack is performed during this turn, the break attribute damage is increased by 10%. And the reason for that is because a lot of people didn't know that when you click on the icon here, and this is an icon, they need to update this, boom, you actually get to see that as you level these up from various star ranks, you actually increase the potency or add additional benefits to this particular skill. So if you didn't know that, you may want to go into each one of these as you unlock them and click on them and see what they do. Now, the cool thing about these attribute sacred treasure skills is they do not limit the attribute damage necessarily to the warriors. So you do not have to equip a break sacred treasure to a break warrior. As you can see here, I got a physical sacred treasure equipped to my BNL. What this allows you to do is to perform cross-attribute damage, as long as you can meet the requirement of the Sacred Treasure skill. So this one here just states that when you are attacked, you have a 30% chance to deal physical attribute damage. Okay, equal to 5% of the attacker's max HP. And keep in mind, this can be increased with other sources of attribute damage. That is actually really cool. Each one of these has a different skill. Mind, actually, when performing a healing action, you get to do a whopping 60% of your attack. And this isn't as powerful as you think, because a healing action does not apply to a lot of healing actions that you might think. I'm still testing that one out. Not all sacred treasures are useful for everybody. For instance, the dual attribute only applies when a warrior can inflict curse. Now, there are warriors that allow other warriors to technically trigger curse. And yes, through my testing, it is actually working. And on another side note, Marluka, the beast, the red beast, if you have her equipped, she actually inflicts curse to 2 enemies when she triggers. This will also trigger this dual attribute sacred treasure, which is really cool, if you ask me. So it's providing you bonus stats, HP and attack, which is pretty standard for all warriors on your account. It's increasing your attribute damage and damage resistance, and you can equip them on up to 4 warriors. Now, this is a huge problem because you have to rank them up so far in order to equip them on multiple warriors. And this is where another part of the true power of Sacred Treasures comes in. The problem is you're limited. So when you click on these, you have to be ranked 6, 11, and 12. The rank up process is very, very difficult thus far, and it needs some changes. But before we get to that, let's actually talk about the tuning phase. This feels added on and more of a item that we really didn't need to the Sacred Treasures. All it is it's an additional currency that when you participate in the battles on these stages, you get these currencies. You get what's called tuning stones from purple, orange, and red rarities, but then you're also going to get these sacred crystals. We'll talk about those right now. So the tuning it has a minimum amount that threshold that you have to reach. This is 270. It actually is, I have the first rank unlocked, so it's actually lower. It's like 170, 30, 8 or something like that. But every time you reach a threshold, you actually get a rank up bonus. What you're doing is you're sacrificing these tuning stones to get small amounts of HP and attack for all your warriors, right? That's really cool. Once you reach the thresholds in all 3 categories, you get a rank bonus. They're calling Toon Blossoms. And you can see it gives you attack plus 1%, HP plus 1%, and so forth. It's actually kind of cool. Now, how do you rank up? Okay, every time you participate, every time you get 50 shards, you're adding to the total number of shards that you need to fuse and rank up. Starts at 50, rank up 50, 100, 150, and then 200. The problem is that most people are stuck at 200 because of the way the game mode plays out. As you start to get higher in all these attributes, and they break them down between dual and break, they actually get more complicated. You are required to have 12-star warriors of each attribute. And I did not misstate that. You're going to need 5 warriors at 12-star to complete all 100 stages, which is absolutely asinine, stupid, and ridiculous. And I hope G123, you're watching this video, because this is ridiculous. And we're going to talk about additional reasons why. So most of mine are going to be stuck at 150 over 200. So how did I get a 5-star out of 4? Well, because I went in and I bought this pass so that I can get research. You buy these rank passes for $24, by the way, which is not worth it, but you get a 50 shards that you can select on your own. So on my break, I was stuck at the 150 over 200. Well, I used it just so I can see what the rank up process was going to be. Well, this third tab here changes to this right here. You get this little circles around the sacred treasure, as well as a premium currency, and look, 200 more shards. That's right. These stages right here are designed at 100 to give you enough shards to get to level 5, rank 5. The problem is most of us can't do that because we need 5 12-star attribute warriors, and 12-star warriors is not something that should be taken lightly. You need to be able to pick and choose some of the best warriors for that kind of investment because it is monetized. It's just monetized to get that many 12-star warriors. But anyways, here is the rank up process. Once you go from 4 and you have the 200 shards that you need, you go back in and you hit the rank up button. You get these little bubbles right here. And if you click on each one of these little bubbles, you get an attack and HP bonus, right? But you have to invest the other materials that I just showed you, these orange crystals, on each of these bubbles right here. 1, 2, and I think it was 2 per bubble going all the way around. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna rank up. That's cool, right? Nope. You get to this 10th bubble right here and you find out you need 200 more shards and premium crystals. These premium crystals are obtained, I hate having to go all the way out, in the marketplace for a whopping 20,000 gems. Absolutely ridiculous. I bought one, but the sooner you start collecting these, if you have the gems, the better off you'll be in the long run. The problem is if you are going to be stuck, what's the point in wasting gems when you could be using them on advanced summonings, arrival summonings? Here's the issue, okay? You go from 5 to 6, you invest in all these little bubbles, and then you're stuck again needing 200 shards. There is no way, once you reach 100 stage 100, there is no way to participate in Divine Legacies and get 200 more shards, because from what I understand, it doesn't go past 100, leading you to have to buy shards or get them from events in the future. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with some of the other shops. G123 had just taken away base battle, and good riddance to it. They could be implementing a new game mode where Sacred Treasure shards are obtained. I don't see that happening. I don't think the company's that smart or generous when it comes to game design and monetization. No offense to G123. So everybody's going to be stuck at 4. A select few who are willing to buy, at least right now, are going to be able to go to 5, but they're going to be stuck at 5 because you're not going to have 200 shards. So there's several different rank up processes actually going on. I wouldn't worry about it too much. What I would do is get all your sacred treasures up to 150 over 200, be prepared for what comes in the future, and use the skills as are. They're very, very potent, guys. And as you continue to add ultra rare warriors to your roster, further increasing your attribute damage bonus that you get. And keep in mind, the attribute damage bonus that you get from ranking up warriors and stuff like that it applies to all warriors. So it doesn't matter which ones you equip this on, you're going to get that increase. It's just a matter of whether or not the warriors you equip them to can fulfill these conditions. Break has a lot of follow-up attackers like Alyssa here, who is a monster. She benefits greatly from this follow-up attack and the damage increase. Let me know what you guys think. Sacred Treasures are unequipable that provide you very, very powerful combat abilities that actually changes the face of combat as long as you have them and can perform cross or attribute-specific damages. What I don't like is being able to equip them to 4 warriors, which is stupid because a team consists of 5. I think that somebody was lazy when they did that, and they should update that to be able to equip to 5 warriors just to round it out. That's just me. It should be able to do that. They need to go through and update stages. Let's say you clear all 100 in all of them. It should actually update to 200. The fight should get harder. You should be able to get shards without having to buy them. And I think that that was the game design guide, is that they just wanted to monetize it, give you a taste of how powerful these abilities are, and get your hooks in and be like, man, at least with the physical and the break one, and even the duel, if you like duel, these are some of the better ones that you can use depending upon the warrior. But some of the most universal is physical and mind. Depending upon your speed, skill can also be there. Sorry about how long this video is. The problem is that, I just don't know how else to explain it. So I'm going to leave it there. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comment section of all this new information that you're just going to get stuck after giving you a taste of how good and nice these new sacred treasures are. And the fact that you need a full set of 12-star warriors for each attribute. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I'll see you in the next one.